Welcome back, everyone, to more of our Making It Fun career mode series in NASCAR Heat 3. So we're coming off of a top 10 run, just barely a top 10 run, but we got that done at Kansas. So before we get into preparing for our next race, which will be at Texas, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the season status and the schedule. So top 10 at Kansas. Race number 2 of the round of 8 will be at Texas, and then we will end the round of 8 at ISM or Phoenix Raceway. And then, of course, if we are fortunate enough to either get a victory or be up in points in the top 4, we will move on to the championship at Homestead, Miami, with an opportunity for the title. So we certainly got some work to do if we're going to earn a spot in the championship 4 at Miami. If we take a look at the playoff grid, you notice that we are only 1 point out. But the real problem for us is that if you notice, even Kevin Harvick in 8th is only 3 points out. So it is extremely, extremely close. And of course, we know already one of those 4 slots is already taken by Christopher Bell by virtue of his win at Kansas. So everybody is very close in points. That's where stage points become crucial in each and every race from here on out, as well as a great finish to the race. So let's go ahead, back our way out, and go into the next race at Texas. So let's go ahead and prepare for the race. Now, if you remember last time, we got our what it was likely to be our final improvement on the Xfinity car, at least for a while. I'm not totally done with the trucks or Xfinity or whatever, but for right now, our goal is to get into Cup and to start working on our Cup team, and then we'll improve these others along the way as well. But now we have 95, 90, and 90 as the max stats on our car. So we need to do a little bit of training on the aerodynamics employees so that we can actually get up to that 90. So if we scroll across, we've got Maggie and Millie. Okay, so together this is only 15. So this is obviously not going to get us what we need. We need to get Millie up to 10. And that will give us 20 overall. And it's only going to cost us $51,000. We got $220,000 in the bank right now. And that's by virtue of 2 additional Truck Series races that I went ahead and simulated off camera so that we can move right along into today's Xfinity event. So now we have exactly what we need in order to max out going forward. Let's see, let's adjust our work plan. And so we got Speedway and then short track. So let's go to Speedway chassis in bay number 2 and see if we can get this as close to maxed out. Yes, in fact, we can get it completely maxed out. Okay, I thought we might have a 1 race delay there before we could actually get that done, but nope, that is not the case at all. Okay, there we go. Everything looks good. Everybody is assigned. And let's go ahead and start that work plan. And you can see bay number 2, Speedway chassis, 95, 90, and 90. So this is our best chance we've had to date. We have 5 additional points now in aero, so we'll see what kind of additional speed that gets us. And if you look at bay number 3, we're also in good shape with our short track chassis, and we'll finish that one off before that next race. It's time to head to Texas. All right, folks, it is race time here at Texas. So we're going to be starting in 6th position, a great starting spot for us. It does make me a little worried about race pace because we're so close to the front in qualifying. That may not be a good sign for the type of race we're going to see, but we are going for the victory. Of course, our goal, as always, is to get as many stage points in the first 2 stages as possible, and then to get the best finish as possible in that final stage. All right, so getting up to speed, not too bad for us. Better than what we're used to. All right, I'm going to try to give these guys a lot of room here. We've got very short stages here. Stage 1's only going to be 10 laps, which I kind of like because it forces us to really have to make up spots as quickly as we can, because otherwise we won't have an opportunity to do it. 10 laps is not very long. Oh, look out. They're taking us 3 wide through 3 and 4. Cole Custer very aggressive, trying to make some spots.
Still there.
All right, we're going to try to get to the outside of Sadler while we've got some momentum here. Try to take advantage of it. See if we can also get to the outside of Harvick, because the leader is out there and trying to run away with this. All right, there you go. We've made our way up to second, at least as long as, let's see, yeah, we can clear the 7. So we are into a solo second position, and now we're going to try to track down the leader. I don't really know who that is off the top of my head. Haven't really caught a good glimpse at the car yet. But we are 4 of 10 laps. And okay, that's Christopher Bell. Well, we know Christopher Bell is already locked in to the championship 4 by virtue of his victory already in this stage. And we are closing on him pretty quickly. All right, I'm going to start lifting a little bit going into the corner because I do not want to run up on him mid-corner. What I would prefer to do is get position on him outside or inside. He's going to protect the inside. And again, I'm going to try to give plenty of room here.
Careful, still there.
And I believe when we get to 3 and 4, we're going to have great speed on him.
Still there.
Let's see what happens. Yeah, we're definitely making up ground on him. Is it going to be enough to clear him, though, is the question.
Careful.
Okay, nope, he's still right with us. Again, trying to give him plenty of room. And okay, I like it. So, all right, let's try the crossover on him. Are we going to have enough power to get to his inside? No, we are not. So we'll go back to our outside lane here, and we'll keep working on it. We're in great position for some stage points, and at this point in the playoffs, the extra playoff point for winning the stage really is immaterial because you don't carry playoff points with you into Homestead. All right, so he gets through 1 and 2. Oh, look out. Holy cow. Right up in front of us there. I wasn't expecting that. But thankfully, I was able to get off of him before we turned him. All right, let's make another run at him, see if we can get to his inside or outside. I will take either at this point because we're coming down to the end of stage 1. All right, we got a great run on him here through 3 and 4 as we're coming to the white flag in stage 1. So it looks like it's going to have to be the outside. Hopefully he doesn't jump up in front of us and try to block that. Okay, so he's got good pace through 1 and 2. Very good pace, in fact.
Still there.
All right, here we go. Trying to get by him in 3 and 4 to get this stage victory if we can. All right, and we'll do it. That's all we needed. We didn't need to clear him. We just needed to get that position at the line. So we'll bring home the 10 points. That is huge for us. You can see the guys behind us. There is a lot of competitors, playoff competitors in that list. So now you can see our estimated fuel, 47 laps, laps remaining 40. So once again, with this length of race, no reason to come to pit road. Unless you would like to pick up some fresh tires, but then you lose all of your track position because nobody else is going to pit. So we'll start stage number 2 here in the race lead. All right, let's see how we do getting up to speed with these guys. And let's see if we can keep this lead. All right, these guys are coming pretty quick.
Hard on the outside. Outside. Clear all around.
All right, so far so good. Those guys appear to be running side by side behind us. That's good for us. It'll give us a chance to hopefully get away. All right, once again, just like stage 1, stage 2 will also be 10 laps. So another very short stage, leaving me to believe that stage 3 is going to be somewhere around 20 or so laps. All right, yeah, we're definitely pulling away from those guys, and they still appear to be fighting amongst themselves. Now, Christopher Bell has nothing to lose. He knows he's going to Homestead, so no issues for him. But Justin Allgaier is a different story. He needs all the points he can get. He did well in the first stage. I believe he came home, it was either 3rd or 4th. So he did well in the first stage. Now he's trying to keep that going. All right, I actually thought these guys would stay a lot closer here in stage 2 than they have been. I know they're fighting amongst themselves for a position. That's definitely going to slow them down. But after the trouble we had getting past Christopher Bell, I thought they might put up a bit more of a fight here. And keep in mind, this is with a car that is 95, 90, and 90. So certainly more speed to be had. And if I compare my qualifying time for this race to some of the laps I've run with, in quick race with a fully upgraded car, then we were quite a bit off of that pace. We were like 6 or 7 tenths off that pace, something like that. So we could be running quite a bit faster if we fully upgrade our car, and that certainly is not what we would want at this track. There are some tracks in this game where the AI are they're just on it. Places like, say, Dover, they're a little bit off on speed at Dover, but boy, do they run you hard. And it's usually a very close race, very hard to pass there. But then you come to a place like this, and the AI are nowhere to be found if you can get out into the lead with a reasonably good car. And that's what I would call what we have right now. 95, 90, and 90 is several levels away from maxed out. We don't have all of the grip we could have. We don't have all of the horsepower we could have. So our speed and grip are both compromised, and yet we are running away with this quite easily here in stage number 2. So this is the kind of thing that gives me hesitation toward continuing to upgrade our car and trying to get to 100s across the board. All right, but for now, the task at hand is to get this victory so that we won't have to worry about Phoenix. We can move straight on to Homestead and see if we have the speed for a championship. Now, if you remember back to what happened in the trucks, we had a truck that was 90, 95, and I believe 90 on the three chassis parts, and that was not enough to get us the victory. So we're in very much a similar situation here with the Xfinity car, but this time we've swapped the 95 from aero over to the engine, and then the other two parts of the car are at 90. So we'll see if that makes any difference when we get to Homestead. All right, so it looks like we're going to finish up stage 2 with an easy victory, and of course that's 10 more points. The playoff point doesn't make any difference. We are at basically the final stage of the playoffs before the finale. So the 10 points is what really matters to us at this juncture. So of course nobody is going to pit unless they have damage that they need to get repaired. So we're going to start stage 3 once again out in the lead, and we're going to try to pull out ahead of these guys. Once again, getting up to speed is a bit of an issue once we get into 4th gear. These guys generally pull me once we get into 4th. We're okay before that, and you can see Justin Allgaier is right there with me. All right, no, he's fading back. I was giving him a little bit of room on the bottom there just in case he tried to stick it in there, but he did not. All right, so we're on lap 28 of 52. So just about 20 laps to go, a little bit over that here in this final stage. In fact, going back to our discussion about lap times versus a fully upgraded car, I would not expect us to be anywhere close to the lead with a car at this juncture. As upgraded as it is, you know, 95, 90, and 90 is not bad, but it's certainly not a race-winning car. Because as I mentioned, we are 6, 7, maybe even 8 tenths off what we could be running with a fully upgraded car. So I would expect the AI right now, I would expect us to be probably like a 15th to 20th placed car on average, with maybe some shots at, you know, a top 15 and maybe up to around 12th or so at these bigger tracks. I just wouldn't expect to be anywhere close to the lead given how far we are off the fully upgraded times. But again, that's a function of the AI right now, and they'll continue to work on that, I'm sure. They worked on the AI between NASCAR Heat 2 and 3, and I would expect that they will continue to make adjustments on that. Looking ahead to NASCAR Heat 4, I am, given that they have shown an interest in continuing to expand the content in the game, I'm really hoping for asphalt late models next. That would be a blast. And at this point, I sort of have visions of how much fun could be had on, you know, some half-mile to 3/4 mile style tracks in some asphalt late model. That would be an absolute blast. Of course, I've grown up around short track racing. That's what I'm used to. So the idea of being able to do it in the game is certainly something I'm very interested in. It's one of the reasons why I love the short tracks in this game, whether it's Martinsville, Bristol, anything like that, Richmond. All of those are a lot of fun to me because that's what I'm used to. All right, so far these guys are quickly disappearing in our mirror to the point where we very rarely even see a car that is being rendered in the rearview mirror. 18 laps to go. Car's handling perfectly fine. You can run this track wide open in all 3 series from Trucks, Xfinity, as well as Cup, at least for now. We'll see what updates do in the future. We certainly should not be running them wide open, but as of now, you can. So we're easily wide open the entire way around the track, except for when we were in traffic. So I was trying to give those guys room, and I did not want to run up on them quickly into the corner. All right, I keep looking in our rearview mirror just to see if it's going to draw any of our competitors, and I'm not seeing any. Nobody is close enough that the game even renders them in our rearview mirror at this point. Here in a moment, I'm going to pull up the leaderboard and just see what kind of a lead we do have. Wow. Okay. So they're not fighting for second right now. Second place, Christopher Bell has a full second lead over third. But you do notice that Christopher Bell is running second. Daniel Hemrick, who's fighting for a playoff berth at Miami, is in third, so a good run for him. And then fourth and fifth are not playoff competitors. And also, if you look up ahead, you can just start to see some lap traffic appearing. Luckily, this track is very wide, and as long as the lap traffic will stay to the bottom, then I would prefer to take the top because it gives us just a little bit more room to maneuver around them. So we've got a 5-second lead here, so we're easily pulling away from these guys, which is, of course, not what we were wanting. We need the victory for the points, and of course to get our spot in the playoff championship 4 at Homestead, but this is not the way you want to get the victories. All right, quite a bit of traffic ahead of us, actually. Quite a bit. I thought we were only going to have time to get to, maybe 2 or 3 of these guys, and that may still end up being the case with only 11 laps to go, but there is a steady diet of lap traffic ahead of us. In fact, I'm going to start backing out of the throttle some. Okay, it looks like he's going to stay to the inside and give us just enough room to get by. Thank you very much, Morgan Shepherd. These guys in front, if they'll stay single file for just long enough for us to get by, that'd be great. But once again, I'm going to lift quite a bit here. Taking it real easy. I mean, we're 6 seconds up on second place. There's no reason to take a chance. Okay, good. These guys stayed to the bottom and give me room to get by. So far, so good. See what Josh Balicki does. Hopefully he'll do the same thing and stay to the bottom. All right, this is good.
You got all the room you need. You're clear.
All right, there's a few down, and now we will work on the next group of cars. There are, about 5, maybe even 6 cars in this next group. So this is going to be a little bit touch and go. You know these guys are going to be running side by side, at least a few of them. And that certainly seems to be the case as we're closing in on them. So I'm going to be very, very careful. In fact, I'm going to start lifting right now, just so I can figure out where I want to go around these guys. Because they're not really going anywhere. They're fighting amongst themselves, and there's really no room on the track. Looks like they're going to get somewhat in line. I'm going to still give them a pretty wide berth through the corner.
Still there. Clear all the way to the bottom, clear down low. Careful now, still there. You got all the room you need. You're clear.
Okay, we made it. Just never quite sure what the AI are going to do. As I've mentioned now for a couple of years in the NASCAR Heat franchise, if you get these guys, if you get the AI running, you know, one or two at a time, when they get spread out, you're generally okay to race with them. They're generally pretty good to race with. But boy, whenever you get those guys, you know, 4 or 5 of them or more jumbled up together, it's like they just go crazy. You never know what they're going to do. So that's why I wanted to take it very easy around that group. All right, let's see if Martins is going to give us room. Looks like he is.
Careful now, still there. All right, now you're clear.
All right, let's go ahead and get rid of the leaderboard. We've seen what we need to see there. I'd actually forgotten I had it up. All right, 4 more laps. You can see these guys in front of us are racing pretty hard. We're just going to stick to this second or third lane and just have a little fun for the last few laps. And it would be perfectly fine with me if we didn't catch those guys at all. As long as they will give us plenty of room, as it appears McLeod is going to do, then everything will be fine.
Still there. Careful, still there. Couple more turns. 2 more. 2 to go. Bottom lane's clear. Use it if you need it.
All right, about a lap and a half remaining in the race, and we'll try to finish this one off without getting to those guys in front of us. So I'm going to be backing out of the throttle a little bit. No reason to even come close to those guys, as they seem to be battling pretty hard for that spot. All right, final time around. And I'm just going to watch these guys in front of us battle it out. Oh, look out. We're on the apron. Don't wreck. Okay, I thought there was going to be a wreck there. Kaz Gralla was giving me reason to worry. But everything turns out okay, and we'll bring home the victory. So there we go. There's our ticket punched to Homestead. All right, we'll let this go ahead. I have no interest in doing a burnout. So the race victory will net us $210,000. Really like to see those amounts. And of course, those amounts are only going to increase once we get into the Cup Series. Really, really like those types of numbers. $13,000 from the team payout, and then $5,700 in our merchandise. That's going to give us just shy of $400,000 in our bank account. Now, of course, we're not going to have anywhere near enough money. You'd need several $1 million, I would imagine, to start a cup team. So we're going to be doing the same sort of thing that we did with the Xfinity Series and simulating a season there as well. So I'm not at all worried about the money right now. It'll just be whatever it is, and we'll find out how much we need here shortly once we get to the end of the Xfinity season and get ready to start the next one. But for now, I'm really enjoying seeing that green tag of advanced next to our name. Of course, it doesn't matter if we're in first, second, third, or fourth as far as that goes, but we are advanced into the final race. We'll take home the trophy. Really hoping for some more options to paint these cars in the future, some more designs. I would love the ability to copy some of the designs of existing cars. I mean, those are designs that we know have already been added to templates in the game, so why not make those available to us? I would love to copy some of those designs onto our car, because there are some very good looking cars out there on the track. All right, there we go. 2,600 fans that we picked up for the victory. We got our incentive payout. It's another $6,300. We'll certainly take that. Thank you very much to Tommy Joe Martins. Nice win at Texas. Super fast and super clean. Amazing. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and compliment him. He is already very friendly toward us. And now that's going to bring us to the ISM Raceway, both in the trucks as well as Xfinity, but it won't matter to us. Phoenix will not be an issue for us. We're getting ready for Homestead. So that'll do it for now. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our Making It Fun series in NASCAR Heat 3.